What if what seems like a curse is a blessing in disguise? What if we changed our mindset and adopted a positive mentality from the get-go? How many times have you suffered from an unpleasant event and then later found peace with it? How many times have you deeply suffered from a perceived unpleasant event only to later realize the gift that it really was, the blessing that it really was? And how long do you take to go from feeling the deep pain to realizing the gift? Hey, what's up you guys? I'm Fernando and welcome to my channel. Today we're talking the hindsight window, which is the period between experiencing the perceived negative event and then coming to realizing the gift in that experience. How many of us deeply suffer and resist challenges, negative events, uncomfortable situations? What we resist persists, right? But how many of us actually find peace with it in the end? Maybe it takes a long time, but eventually we get there. And then when you look back in hindsight, you were like, oh my gosh, that was such a blessing. I am so grateful that that happened in my life. So if it's available then, wouldn't it make sense that it's also available now? Time is an illusion, right? What if we shortened the window? What if we closed it fast? This term, the hindsight window, was coined by a guy called Eric Edmeades. And so it's very simple. Here you have point A, which is the challenge, the perceived unpleasant event, the emotionally challenging obstacle. Every time we're faced with it, we're like, no, that's just horrible. I don't want that. This is what our conditioning has us do. But ultimately, we do end up here in point B, which is like, yeah, there were good things in it. You know, I learned from it. I'm glad that it happened. And so point A and point B. Point B, seeing it as the gift that it was, right? And this is the window. Maybe it takes you a week. Maybe it takes you a month. Maybe it takes you a year. Depends on the situation, right? Depends on the person. But what if we closed it fast? A longer hindsight window means less happiness in life, and a shorter hindsight window means more happiness in life. Which do you prefer? Less happiness or more happiness in life, right? If it's available then, it's available now. So for example, you might lose your job and you might resist this fact. You might resent some people. You might feel very frustrated for a pretty long time. But then ultimately you will find a gift. You will find peace with it. And then you'll look back and you'll be like, wow, I suffered so much with it. And now that I'm here, you're like, it could have been easier. It could have been lighter, right? And so point A and point B. So here are some examples. Losing your job. So that's the emotionally challenging event. But then there is a gift on the other side. You get hired for a much better position with a higher salary, working for a company that is more in alignment with you, with people that are more in harmony with your purpose. And then in hindsight, it's like, thank God I was fired. A breakup or a divorce. It's painful, right? Breaking up, divorcing someone you've spent so much time with. But when it happens, the tendency is to resist, to suffer. What if we closed it fast? What if we realized that the perceived negative event is actually helping us along? What if we shifted the mindset? Yes, we might feel the pain in the moment. We might grieve, right? That's okay. But what if the mindset, what if the mentality while that's happening is, this is happening for my highest good? Wouldn't that mean that we would be able to get to point B faster? Because there's no resistance? Because there's gratitude from the get-go? Even if feelings of discomfort are present, even if feelings of grief are present, we would be able to close the window faster, right? What a blessing. A health scare. Something happens, you get a diagnosis. Oh my gosh, it's scary. But then when you get here, it's like, I have such deeper appreciation for life now. I am eating healthier. I practice gratitude on a daily basis. Every time I wake up, I'm like, the perfect health is mine. I am so grateful for my beautiful, beautiful, perfect health. Ooh, I get goosebumps. A missed opportunity. You were expecting to get this opportunity for something to happen and then you didn't. What if you thought of it as a blessing from the get-go? And then when you get here, it's like, wow, I got something so much more in alignment for me. Let me share with you the story of one of my beautiful dogs. I have two dogs. They were both rescued off the streets. And the one you see in the picture right now, he's Alfredo. And that's when he was literally rescued. We picked him up off the streets and he was abandoned in front of a pet shop. When we see stuff like this, it's like, oh my gosh, how could people do this? Abandon dogs on the streets, right? It's so heartbreaking, and we see it and it's like, it's painful. He's been with me for 4 years now, and he had a disease that made him partially blind, and he has some neurological issues. So he's a special needs dog. And I think that's why he was abandoned. I don't know. And now in hindsight, when I look at it, like I was using my phone the other day and this picture popped up. And so I was thinking, wow. Like at first it's like, how could people do that? But now it's like, what a blessing, because he has so much love. I take such good care of him. Such good care, and I gave him so much love. He's the happiest dog, and I love him so much. And so when I look at it, it's like, oh, it's more than a gift. It's a pure blessing, right? I know this is a bit of a different example here from like personal experiences that happen with us, but it's an interesting example because we have this tendency to look at like perceived negative stuff and be like, oh my gosh, that's horrible. But we don't know, right? Why stuff is happening. We don't. But we're ready to jump to conclusions and have like opinions and like judgment, right? But we don't know what the ultimate plan is. And so I came up with some examples here with celebrities that faced challenging situations, and there were gifts afterwards. So you can think of Oprah when she was like fired from being like a news anchor because she would get too emotionally involved with the reports and all. And then she was fired. And then ultimately she ended up having the Oprah Winfrey show where she would like interact with people and the stories, you know, with a lot of emotion. And that was like, I mean, it's Oprah. I don't need to like explain anything else, right? So also Steve Jobs, when he was fired from Apple, which led him to get into this huge creative, you know, period where he started Next and like Pixar, and then he was later rehired by Apple, and you know, the rest is history, right? The Hindsight Window. Lady Gaga, when she was signed by Def Jam Records and then she was dropped like 3 months later, which led her to like revise her artistic style, and then she, you know, got signed again, and again, the rest is history. What if what seems like a curse is a blessing in disguise? What if we changed our mindset and adopted a positive mentality from the get-go? So I invite you now to look back and remember challenging events that had you be in a lower vibration for like a bit of a long time, only to later see the gift in that experience, in that obstacle, in that challenging situation. And I also invite you to comment down below your story so that you can help other people. Maybe something you went through, somebody else is going through right now, and this might inspire them to adopt a more positive mindset from the get-go. So if you feel called to, share your stories down below. And so I hope this helps you. Thank you so much for subscribing to my channel. I love you very much, and I'll see you guys next time.